Listen, I love XQC a lot. I think he's one of my favorite like streamers because obviously,
Cheeto.
hmm?
Cheeto.
Cheeto. No, he's also Canadian.
Cheeto.
He's also a
True.
Canadian. Okay, like he reminds me of my own people. All right, like I'm glad that a Canadian is like what #2 most watched.
Cheeto.
He's the biggest streamer. I
But
think he's
like,
number one.
so the streamer awards happened, and so for context sake, QT Cinderella was the streamer that operated and hosted these awards.
And they did a great job.
She made a tweet. She did a very great job on it, I think, for streamers. Like, I know that there was a lot of takes on Twitter, like, why are these guys patting themselves on the back? I'm like, actually, as somebody who's not even in the sphere, I kind of like seeing people in like the the online YouTuber industry kind of having like a little bit more, you know what I mean, like pull, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's cool, right? Like I don't like watching the fucking Oscars. I'm more associated with these people, so I kind of like seeing them get their own awards. Whatever, it's them
Absolutely.
giving it to themselves. Who
I thought it
gives
was
a shit?
awesome.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm not so fucking cynical and dead inside that I'm gonna bitch about all these things. Like we're far off from that. So I thought it was cool that she did it, and so she was running these events, and I think she got like 300,000 viewers, right? Like so she was trying to get like the numbers up for sponsors and everything, right? Like for next year and everything. So she basically said, streamers not attending today, if you would like to react to the show, it would mean a lot if you could do it full face cam, so they wouldn't be restreaming your stuff. Obviously, to draw the viewership to her. And then, like, XQC of all people goes, so basically, like, one person responds to her and is like, why do you have streamers on your award show who literally streamed entire television shows? Double standards. Pretty true. We all know about the React meta. So XQC of all people, who, may I remind people, Olympics, Hunter x Hunter, some of the most fucking copyright minefield
Bro,
fucking
why
shows
are you
imaginable.
You're snitching, bro. You're snitching. Why are you snitching?
Full TV shows. I'm not snitching, bro.
You're
The
snitching.
VODs are snitching.
Oh.
They exist. So he goes, it's a live show. Forgetting the fact that he also covered the Olympics and all that shit too. Wild.
Yep.
The audience is directly cannibalistic to the show. Streamers reacting could have literally been there if they pleased, plus L plus ratio. I don't know what the fuck XQC was like. This is kind of like Amaranth like posting. It's like maybe we shouldn't have hypersexualized content on Twitch. I'm like, really, really. So this is XQC coming at us with this take, and I loved reading it so hard. I'm like, there's no way our fucking juicer is saying this shit. Come on now.
Beautiful.
But aside from all that, go ahead.
I'm still surprised that they're able to get away with the reaction stuff. Like, all it takes is one lawyer to get in and see, like, hey, this is a good niche. Find whatever video all these streamers are reacting to, go to the rights owner and say, hey, let me sue the crap out of these streamers, get you a bunch of money, we split it 50-50. And it would be
Listen, before we tie out, I have to clarify and say I think there is a lawsuit down in the pipeline for it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's inevitable. And once that happens, it's like the cat's out of the bag. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. So I don't understand why they're pushing it.
I honestly believe that the lawsuit will probably head it to either XQC, Hassan Piker, Pokimane, a lot of the big names. Like, the thing is like, these guys make the mainstream news, right? Like, if you're hitting Dexerto and all these sites for farting, right, and you're the one watching television, it's only a matter of time before the media companies jump onto you and sue you. And this isn't going to be like a small lawsuit. And people who are like, oh, it's fair use, it's not fair use. They get hit with the lawsuit, and their numbers are so large for live streaming that now I don't think they're actually classified as full-on rebroadcasters. Like, from a legal sense, they're not so far off from like an actual television provider, So it's like you could get hit on that scale, and that, no matter how rich these streamers are, could absolutely fucking bankrupt you. Like, you might be able to have like a settlement out or something, but they will still fucking make an example out of you.
Here,
And what
I'll be right
gets
back. Hold on.
and what gets me is they also have like content ID claiming enabled on YouTube for people that use their clips. So
Have
like,
you ever
they're
been hit
claiming
by that,
other
Art?
people's clips on YouTube. Pardon?
Have you ever been hit by that? Because I've heard about it a lot. Have you been hit by that? Like, content?
I have
What,
personally
biased
not been
streaming?
hit. I'm pretty good with like how
I mean,
I
I've
have not
hit by,
personally been
like,
hit, but I know that the streamers.
So I mean, I
You've
think
been hit by what?
Streamers are relatively careful. They don't just, I think they won't hit a YouTuber that talks about them per se. Like, I know Hassan was talking about anyone that clips him, like, to put him in a bad light, he's copyright striking, which is kind of hilarious because he's the reactor while shitting guy. He's that guy.
Didn't he say that he was like he wanted to loosen up fair use laws like when he was on
Yeah.
the podcast?
Yeah, but he also said that if they clip him negatively, he was gonna strike them, which was funny. I like Hassan. He's great. By the
I
way,
can't even, like,
speaking
get
of
mad
the
at this
Streamer
stuff, I just-
Awards, I'm sorry. I know that we're gonna keep going back to this. Hassan lost the Just Chatting award to Mizkif or something, and he tweeted, "I was robbed," and he started trending. People were like, "You deserve to be robbed. You're a socialist." They thought he was like actually robbed.
Oh man, that man will always be the lightning rod of any drama on Twitch.
Oh
They
my
will always
gosh.
fucking destroy him.
Bro.
No, but no, like that when he was on here talking about like the whole like fair use stuff and everything, I was just like look, I like him, like he's been a friend to us, like he, you know, there's no like, you know, but we got to call out where things, we have to call out things, you know, properly, right? Like when fucking you can't be on Twitch. You can't, like, I think it kind of like drives me a little up the wall when I sort of see a lot of these streamers, and not just Hassan, but it's like, you know, that whole meme where it's like Twitch reaction meta is just a chair.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way that you can, and you stream for 12 hours a day, and the one argument that always fucking pisses me off, it's like, oh, I've been streaming for 12 hours a day, so I'm basically allowed to break like copyright laws for an hour. I'm like, that's not how it fucking works.
Yeah,
Like-
that's the thing that gets me is
Like,
when,
what
when
am
they,
I supposed to
they
do?
defend themselves.
Die?
Yeah. And it's like,
Can I not?
yeah,
eat?
it's like I've seen that happen on Twitter where they go and people make fun of them for like just illegally streaming stuff without giving fair use reactions to it. And they're like, look, you just went away. You went to the bathroom for 15 minutes and you just let this TV show play. And then they're like, what, do you expect me not to go to the bathroom?
Right,
And it's
that,
like, that,
that logic is like, well, you know, you could just play some of your own content while you do that, right? Like that's the
Or pause it.
like I know
pause it and just say,
someone,
hey, we're all
that
taking a
did-
break, guys.
That they
Yeah.
did a subathon, and whenever they would sleep, like during the subathon, they would have like their D&D sessions or their podcast play. Like that would be the content to entertain their viewers while they were sleeping. And then there's someone else
Well,
that literally
okay,
just put like
so I
Netflix
wanna say this
autoplay
much.
on there.
When it comes to like, okay, so when you release your Chris Chan documentary, and it's going to be long, and like all of a sudden you just start seeing it on Twitch being restreamed without anybody reacting to it, and just because that does steal viewership, like regardless of like, because
Right,
people who
for
are
sure.
like, oh, we're exposing this to somebody that would never have watched him, complete bullshit, utter horseshit right there. People watch the entire video through you, and they'll never go to the YouTube video to watch that again. They never will. It'll just be a bot to them. They'll never jump in. You've cannibalized their viewer. You've in XQC's word, you have directly cannibalized the viewership. Okay,
What a great
so
lingo.
I'm just fucking saying, like that's the kind of shit that always burns me. How much would it burn you as a creator though if that was to happen to you? Like I've kind of accepted it if it happens to me, but
Like I've made documentaries in the past that you know, a lot of the big streamers have looked over and watched without much in terms of fair use. I personally am not going to do anything about it myself. You know, a lot of the time I'm kind of flattered by it, but at the same time, it's not even that I care so much that they're watching it. It's the arrogance of their defense of watching it. That's the problem. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not the act of them
Yeah.
watching it. It's the act that they go on Twitter and then act arrogant about doing it. And how they're
yeah, like
allowed to.
if you act like you're entitled to it, that's a different thing for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's the exact word. It's the entitlement to being able
Yeah.
to do it. I personally, if you sit there and you're like, hey guys, there's this cool documentary, watch the Game from Mars content, let's watch it. They pause it a couple times, they give their thoughts, and they're like, wow, check out that guy's channel. He did a good job. I'll be flattered. You know, might not technically
Yeah,
be
I
fair
like
use,
that. I
but
mean, it's cool.
I'll move
like,
on with my day. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all good. But when they go on Twitter and they just say, you know, what do you expect
Yeah.
me to do? React harder? Like I work 16 hours a day streaming. Do you expect me to be
that's
on?
fucking
all that
slave
time?
labor, dude. What are you
And-
talking about?
And it's like, listen, it doesn't matter if you're working hard or if you're working long hours streaming. The law is the law in terms of what fair use constitutes.
Mhm.
And you know, it has to be argued in court if something's fair use or not in a lot of cases. But there are some standard pillars of what constitutes fair use. And just sitting there watching as anime shows in their entirety, that does not count.
I have no remorse for somebody that fucking loses their shit about like fair use and like but they're also the same people that are striking YouTubers for using their clip. I think that's like a no. Like I don't like to like that's just that's like a cutoff. Like fuck that, you know. And there's people that do it. I know that I know that some of them have like entire MCNs that do it for them.
Yeah.
But like it just seems so above and beyond. Honestly, like I feel like if Twitch ever had a content ID system, ever like YouTube, you know, it's going to be a waiver. Like YouTubers are probably going to upload it and put their content on there too, just to like content ID back at the Twitch people.
Everyone compares Twitch and YouTube, but the thing is, YouTube is a million times bigger than Twitch is, and I think that's another reason why they've slipped through the cracks, even though they're owned by Amazon at this point. All it takes is Viacom to come in and just do to them what they did to YouTube back in 2007, where they say, hey, we're going to start suing you if you don't get this under control. And they're going to force Twitch to go and make some sort of content ID system for live streams that's stronger than it is now. And they're going to ruin the platform. So even if you are doing a fair use analysis of a video where you're watching someone's streams or clips and saying, okay, we're breaking this down, they're stopping, they're giving their arguments against it, they're actually providing context and making it transformative in nature, that stuff's going to go out the window too. So they're pushing it, and they're being arrogant about it on Twitter, laughing at people for criticizing them, watching seasons of TV shows in their entirety. They're shooting themselves in the foot, and they're going to ruin it for everybody in the long term.
Yeah, I wonder, because like the Master Chef folks already like kind of gave Hassan the okay, right? So like I wonder if that's a potential, even if it's just like a margin of the content, there's going to be like a real clear separation between what's allowed and what's not going to be allowed at the threat of violence. And
I'm just
Also,
wondering
like,
why
as
these
in
people
lawsuits.
don't have the big brains to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, what you were going to say also. But it's going to end up where the large streamers that can contact MasterChef, like you'll have the Hassan that's going to be able to react it because, Gordon Ramsay himself is totally chill with it, and he'll maybe even collab with him. But all the smaller streamers, those are the guys that are really getting screwed.
Yeah, like I think at some point the larger streamers are gonna have to work out deals with like companies like MasterChef, where it's like, let us restream your older seasons so we can drive traffic to the newer ones.
Right.
If they could do that, that would be like an interesting fucking way to go.
It would
but
be,
if you're
but
just
what
watching
younger
it for the sake of
streamer,
it,
what streamer with like 20 viewers is going to be able to ever react to anything? They're not going to have the pull to contact a company.
I think they'll make it some sort of overarching agreement of, hey, if you're a streamer on Twitch, we have this agreement where you're allowed to watch season 1 of this show.
Oh my God.
Like,
Muda.
it goes back to the point of,
Bro, we need you to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Just do it on Twitch. Dude, just do it on Twitch.
I'll watch
Please.
season 1
On Twitch.
only on Twitch,
Yeah.
exclusively.
Yes. Oh my God, dude.
It's allowed. You can do whatever you want on Twitch.
True.
You can do whatever.